So this is on the Shade Room. Again, guys, if y'all are coming in, hit the like button. Okay, so New York Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted after federal investigation into alleged corruption. So this was from the New York Times. Breaking news: Mayor Eric Adams of New York City was indicted following a federal corruption investigation, said people briefed on the case. All right. So I was trying to find the exact charges because corruption is a broad term. Like, what type of corruption? But I don't think they're releasing that information yet. Okay, so I'm on the New York Times right now. Eric Adams, a retired police captain who was elected as New York City's 110th mayor nearly 3 years ago and had promised to rein in crime, has been indicted in a federal corruption investigation, people with knowledge of the matter said. The indictment remained sealed. That's why we don't know the exact charges. The indictment remained sealed on Wednesday night, and it was unclear what charge or charges Mr. Adams will face. But the federal investigation has focused, at least in part, on whether Mr. Adams and his campaign conspired with the Turkish government to receive illegal foreign donations. When the indictment is made public, Mr. Adams, a Democrat, will become the first New York City mayor to face a federal charge while in office. It was not clear when he will surrender to the authorities. Federal prosecutors were expected to announce more details on Thursday. Okay, so this is over campaign funds. Now, why would the Turkish government be giving a mayor money? That's the question. He's just the mayor. He's just the mayor of New York. So why would the government of Turkey go so far as to illegally fund his campaign? I need to know the reasons behind that. I definitely think in some way this is tied to P. Diddy. And I'm just speculating here, but I wonder if maybe he's been being investigated before they went in on P. Diddy, right? But I wonder if P. Diddy is in there offering some type of evidence or information on Eric Adams because they're cool. That's his homie. They're cool. They're tight. He's been in the same parties as Diddy. I'm not saying that he was in the after parties, but he's definitely went to some Diddy parties in terms of, just being in a communal setting, with Diddy. So I am interested to see how this is going to play out, but that is rather odd that the Turkish government would be illegally funding a mayor. That lets you know that there's some type of benefit involved to the Turkish government because nobody that is rich or a government is going to fund a campaign if there is no financial benefit for them. So that's going to be interesting to see within the coming days or weeks. Let's look at Mayor Eric Adams' response.
Yorkers, it is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes. If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies. But they would not be surprising. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target. And a target I became. For months, leaks and rumors.
Okay, I want to know how he stood his ground for New Yorkers. Right now, let me say this. Recently, he has been speaking up about the immigration being a problem, actually for a while. Once he realized we don't have the logistics in place to be able to take care of all these people that are being bused here, then he started speaking up. Now they're trying to offer a lot of the immigrants money to leave, to go other places. They're trying to bus the immigrants to other places, right? But before he actually had to deal with this problem in real time, he was sitting up talking about we're a sanctuary city. We accept everybody, right? And they were demonizing people like the governor in Texas for saying, we can't take them. We can barely afford to take care of our people, right? So, regardless of how you feel, whether or not you're a Democrat or you're a Republican, right? What I respect about Greg Abbott, which there are many things he has done that I don't like, but on this one particular issue, is that he said, okay, well, I'm going to pull your card. Y'all want to sit up and call people in Texas and Arizona and even parts of California racist when we say we cannot deal with these huge waves of immigrations. We need to shore up the border. So guess what? Since you have the moral high ground, since you are so understanding, since you are so liberal, since you are so welcoming, how about you let all these people into your house, right? And you provide basic living, food, and necessities for them because we can't afford it in our state, and we already know that. So you gotta respect the man for saying, okay, if this is going to be allowed in our country, the great state of Texas will not be dealing with it, right? And with that said, I'm not saying this is somebody who dislikes immigrants. I'm not saying that this is somebody who, like, I personally don't believe, now that they're here, I don't believe in rounding them in deporting them. We don't let them in the country. Now we have to deal with it. And I mean, I grew up with illegal immigrants, but that was a long time ago. That was a different wave of immigration. I remember growing up and the Mexicans that came in illegally into my city in Dallas, they didn't get all that help. They didn't come to Texas expecting people to fund them and give them housing and Medicaid and Section 8. No, they came and they worked together as family units. They might have worked for like a lower wage, but eventually they would just pull their resources together and buy things together as families. And if they couldn't go get a legal work permit, they had some type of marketable skill to where they figured out how to work for themselves and create their own business and build something for themselves. And to that, I say much respect. So it's like, I understand that there are people who come here and they're not asking for anything but an opportunity to show that they can get it out the mud. But that is a completely different situation than what has been going on in New York, where people are coming and they're staying in homeless shelters, right? They're staying in they're getting money on debit cards, getting food stamps and things of that nature. This new wave of immigration did not come over here with the expectation to get it out the mud like those Mexicans and Central Americans from yesteryear. So it's causing a strain. So yes, he has been speaking up about it. And I could absolutely see them saying, okay, well, we got to get our lick back. But I also do think that whatever charges are being brought up on him, there might be some truth to that. And I'm saying that because you are who you surround yourself with. And it's just always been odd to me that he was so buddy with Diddy.
Have been aimed at me in an attempt to undermine my credibility and paint me as guilty. Just this past week, they searched the home of our new police commissioner looking for documents from 20 years ago, just 1 week after he joined my administration. Enough. I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit. If I'm charged, I know I am innocent. I will request an immediate trials so the New Yorkers can hear the truth. New Yorkers know my story. They know where I come from. I have been fighting injustice my entire life. That fight has continued as your mayor. Despite our pleas, when the federal government did nothing as its broken immigration policies overloaded our shelter system with no relief. I put the people of New York before party and politics.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and I get that, right? And I'm going to give him his I'm gonna give him his due for finally speaking up about it. But did you speak up about it because the people were putting the pressure on you? Because logistically, instead of trying to virtue signal in the beginning, he should have been saying that all along that, hey, we cannot afford this. And to be fair, I think a lot of Democrats were saying what they felt like their constituency wanted to hear. Right? A lot of politicians know that they cannot afford to handle illegal immigrants in their state or in their city. But in order to get votes, they're going to pretend like that is the logical and moral thing to do, right? But he was finally placed in a situation where he had to be about that life. Okay, it sounds good. Let's see how you handle it in real life. And now he had to change his tune. But honestly and truly, any person with common sense, any person who has either ran a business or has worked in government for a long time, and you know how resources and funds are allocated and appropriated, knows that you cannot afford to take care of illegal immigrants because we can barely afford to take care of citizens here. Right. And I'm saying that as somebody who is an immigrant to a foreign country. For those of y'all who don't know, or you're just tuning in, I live in Colombia, but I came to this country legally. The government knows that I'm here and they won't give me anything. If I ran out of money today, there is no help and assistance available to me. They're going to be looking at me like, gringa, go home, because you cannot come over here and take resources from tax-paying Colombian citizens when the Colombian governments cannot even afford to take care of their own people. So a lot of this, oh, American people are racist if they just speak common sense about immigration policy. The rest of the world understands common sense immigration policies. And I guarantee you, as an American citizen, you cannot just roll up into anybody's country and think that they are going to fund you. They have no sympathy for you. You could have been broke and struggling in your own country, and they're going to be looking at you like, oh, well, that's your fault. You had opportunities living in America. So nobody's going to have sympathy for you as an American citizen. I'm just keeping it real.
Now, if I am charged, many may say I should resign because I cannot manage the city while fighting the case. I can also understand how everyday New Yorkers would be concerned that I cannot do my job while I face accusation. But I have been facing these lies for months since I began to speak out for all of you and their investigation started. Yet the city has continued to improve. Make no mistake, you elected me to.
I haven't heard from New Yorkers that the city is improving. So that I don't know. I want to know what metrics is he measuring to come on here and confidently say that the city of New York is improving, because native New Yorkers who are on the ground are saying that it's going to hell in a handbasket. So with that said, I feel like if he did not do the crimes that he's saying, because it's very possible that he's innocent. This is all alleged. This has not been proven in a court of law yet. It's very possible that he didn't do it. So I don't think he should resign, because to me, a resignation just strategically looks bad. It looks like I'm resigning because I did it and I just want to get out of the spotlight, because I know I'm about to be charged guilty or prosecuted for such and such crimes. And I understand that there are going to be people who are going to be calling for his resignation based solely just on accusations and charges being filed. But if I feel like you're innocent until proven guilty, I don't feel like people should resign from their posts until it can be proven in the court of law that they actually did what they are being accused of. Kind of like with that situation with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, how Disney went ahead and fired him in that situation from doing what was that, Fantastic Beast. Well, it ended up he was, what do we call it? He was vindicated. It ended up that he won his case, and Disney never gave him his role back, and I don't believe they compensated him for firing him. So I feel like until you have actually been found guilty, you should not be fired from your jobs, or you should not have to resign from your job. Okay. People should have to prove it first. And I'm not defending Eric Adams. I'm saying this as somebody who is a citizen of the United States and feels like people should have their due process in court.
Lead this city, and lead it I will. I humbly ask for your prayers and your patience as we see this through. God bless you, and God bless the city of New York. Thank you. My fellow.
Okay, guys. So this is getting sticky. I'm interested to see what is going to happen with this case.